Eden never believed in destiny. To him, life was about choices, actions, and consequences. Love was a concept for dreamers, something beautiful, yet fragile, something that could distract a person from the real work of living. But then he met Lily. They met on an ordinary day in New York. The city was alive with the usual chaos, car horns blaring, people rushing past, and the faint smell of roasted coffee beans lingering in the air. Eden had ducked into a small, cozy coffee shop to escape the rain and work on a project. He was seated near the window, focused on his laptop, completely absorbed in numbers and deadlines. And then she appeared. Lily, with her gentle smile and sparkling eyes, shook off her umbrella, brushing droplets of rain from her hair. She looked around, hesitated, and finally asked, "Is this seat taken?" Eden looked up, slightly startled, and said, "No, it's free." She sat down, thanked him, and for a moment, he couldn't stop staring. There was something about her presence that felt warm, alive, and oddly familiar. They spoke only a few sentences that day. Nothing significant, nothing dramatic. But when Lily left, Eden felt an unusual emptiness, a hollow space in his chest he hadn't known existed. The beginning. In the weeks that followed, they began to see each other more frequently, sometimes by coincidence, sometimes intentionally. Their small conversations grew into hours of discussion. They shared books, stories from their childhood, dreams, and fears. Lily was different from anyone Eden had ever met. She carried herself with quiet strength, yet there was softness in the way she saw the world. She had lost her mother at a young age and grown up with a father who worked tirelessly to provide for her. Despite life's hardships, she smiled like nothing had hurt her, like every day was a gift. Ethan was surprised. "That sounds like my whole life," he replied bitterly. The old man smiled. "Tell me, what are you chasing?" Ethan laughed without humor. "Success. Peace. A life that makes sense." "And how long have you been chasing it?" the old man asked. "All my life," Ethan said. The old man picked up a small seed from the ground and held it in his palm. "Do you see this?" he asked. "Yes," Ethan replied. "This seed does not become a tree tomorrow," the old man said. "If it did, it would break. Growth requires patience." Ethan felt irritated. "I don't have time for riddles." The old man stood up slowly. "Come back here every evening for 1 year," he said. "Sit under this tree, and do nothing. Just observe." Ethan almost laughed. "Do nothing? That's your advice?" "Yes," the old man said calmly. "Sometimes, waiting is the hardest work." Ethan left, shaking his head. Yet something about the old man's words stayed with him. The next day, without fully understanding why, Ethan returned. He sat under the tree. At first, it felt pointless. Days passed. Weeks passed. Ethan noticed the wind, the birds, the slow change of seasons. For the first time in years, he wasn't rushing. Slowly, something inside him changed. He began to reflect, not on what he lacked, but on what he had ignored. He realized how often he quit too soon, how fear disguised itself as frustration. He noticed that the tree above him had deep roots, unseen but strong. Months passed. One evening, the old man returned. "What have you learned?" he asked. Ethan thought carefully. "I've learned that I was always in a hurry. I wanted results without growth." The old man nodded. "Good. Now go back to your life, but this time, build roots before expecting fruit." Ethan returned home different. He started small. He chose one path and stayed with it. No shortcuts. No rushing. Days turned into disciplined routines. Failures came, but he didn't quit. For the first time, he learned to wait while working. Years later, Ethan stood in the same town, but no longer as a man chasing life. He had built something meaningful. Not just success, but peace. One evening, he walked back to the tree. The old man was gone. But the tree stood taller than ever. Ethan smiled. he finally understood. Moral of the story: true success does not come to those who rush, but to those who learn patience, consistency, and self-reflection. Growth happens quietly, beneath the surface, long before it becomes visible.